welcome to the channel. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie a perdigón, a fairly easy tying, and I'm going to give you all of the materials at the start because I want to recount an experience as I go along. So in the vise I have a size 16 hook with a 2.8 gold bead. For the tail I'll be using coq de lion, and for the collar I'll be using some oxido or rust glitter, and the tying thread will be a hazelnut coloured thread, and this happens to be 8/0. So let's get into the tying by mounting the bead. A few years ago my chum and I were practicing for a competition on a small river which runs between mountains, and we were having a great deal of success with this particular perdigón for small trout. It has a very large head of small trout, about 6 inches, and an 8-inch trout is a bit of a trophy. The practice went really well, we were catching lots of trout. Come the match day, there'd been rain, the river was swollen, and it was coloured, so tactics had to be changed. Now, after the draw, I went to the area where my stretch was allocated for fishing, and I had to go down the side of the gorge or the ravine, and there was a zigzag path going down the side, which was great. And as I got to the end of one of the zigzags, I jumped down onto the next zigzag into a pile of leaves. My right foot went into the leaves and my left foot hit a rock which was underneath the leaves. It sent shock waves through every bone in my leg up to my hip, and I laid in a crumpled heap for a few minutes. Now fortunately my controller was coming down the side of the gorge behind me, and I think he wondered whether I was ever going to get up. Anyway, we managed it down to the river, and I fished very uncomfortably for the duration. Coincidentally, it was this time of the year in April. Fernando, who you will have seen in some of my videos, had also had a fall, and he ended up in hospital and spent the rest of the competition strapped up with torn ligaments in his ankle. Now, we were both lucky because we had controllers with us to give us a helping hand. But the moral of this story is, if you're going fishing, especially by yourself, please be careful. I know with the excitement of going fishing, you sometimes don't see what's in front of you and where you're going, and we make mistakes. So please, please be careful. I don't want to see you reporting back to me that you are strapped up or in hospital. Right, I'm just going to tie in the oxido or rust glitter for the collar. And trim that up, like so, and wind on the collar. Like many perdigons, this is such an easy tie, but it continues to be a favourite of ours when we're fishing for small brown trout. And I'll trim up the excess. Now, to tie it off and to make a collar, I'm going to use my cheat by blackening the thread with a fibre tip or felt tip or Sharpie or whatever you like to call it, to create a small black collar. Just blacken a little bit more here and tie it off. And trim up the tying thread. going to give this a coat of UV. Like so, and give it a zap. And I'll give it another thin coat, just a light one, just to finish it off. And give that a second zap. So there you have the hazelnut. Now this is the same hazelnut with a size 3.3 gold bead on a 16 hook, exactly the same, but if there's a little bit of extra water you may want to tie it with a bigger bead. It's a great little nymph and really is a superb nymph for small brown trout. Hit the bell if you're not a subscriber, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for viewing. Bye.